Hello, I'm FlyLady Kat, and I'm here with a special gift for you, and that is a free Patreon video. This Patreon video is one of hundreds and hundreds that I have on my Patreon channel, A Better Life with FlyLady Kat at patreon.com. And on this video, you will see that we're talking more about how we think and implement the FlyLady system into your life rather than the specifics about the FlyLady system. So I call it a mini mentoring session, and it is $5 a month if you decide that you want to enroll at Patreon and become one of my patrons. $5 a month gives you 5 videos a week, week after week, month after month. If that's something that you love, please come over and enjoy these and be part of our special group. There are no advertisements on Patreon, so you'll be able to enjoy it end to end without interruption. If you feel that you'd like to have a little bit more mentoring, maybe some personal accountability or some help, you can get one personal mentoring session a month with me for $25. That is my tier 2. That's going to give you the 25-minute mentoring session and the videos all inclusive for $25 a month. If you need more help, you can get 2 mentoring sessions a month plus the videos for $50 a month. And if you want to go all the way and really help yourself establish some great habits and get into the flow of the FlyLady system, then I recommend that you go for 4 mentorings a month, which is $100 a month, including the free videos. These are all great systems for you. If you can't join Patreon, that's fine. Do your best on the FlyLady system here on this channel. I'm sure you can, but if you do need some help, please come over and see how you like it. That's it for today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I hope you always remember to be beautiful, because you are beautiful. Enjoy the video. Hello, patrons. Today we're talking about our day self and our night self, and this is what my patron Liz calls it, and I think it's so funny. And I'm not talking about, you're in day clothes and then dress up for the evening. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the person who is your imaginary self or your day self and your real self. That's your night self. So it's almost like when you buy something and at the end of the day you have buyer's remorse, your real self says you didn't follow your budget. It's the same thing. We have this imaginary self. This imaginary self thinks we can do all these wonderful things. And this is how we get overcommitted, or we overbuy and we clutter our homes. Either one of those things, cluttering our life or cluttering our homes, is not a good, healthy thing for us to do. Our night self, our reasonable self, reflects back and says, oh dear. So let's think about some things that you might be doing and see if you see yourself. We're going to talk about the things that we buy first. Okay, so you buy yarn and knitting needles or crochet needles and books on how to do this. And you might really crochet like me. I can really crochet, but I don't have time to crochet. It's not the real me right now. So it's best if I don't go buy those things, but you might still be doing that. Oh, I want to buy this and I want to buy that. In fact, I just saw something advertised the other day, that was Afghan of the month. And oh my gosh, they were so beautiful. And I thought, oh, I want to do that. I don't have time to do that. That would just be more clutter in my house that I would end up giving away at some point, because it would just be cluttering up the house. So that's an example of a day self. Another one would be, oh, I really want to do watercolors. And if you really don't have time to do watercolors, you haven't dedicated time to learn how to do watercolors and practice, and you really enjoy it, and there's nothing saying that you don't have the time and that you might want to buy watercolors and you might want to practice and discover you don't even enjoy doing it. That's fine. That's not an imaginary self. But an imaginary self is one that says, I'm going to do all these things, and while I'm at it, the watercolors, let me get some oils because I might want to work in that medium too. And so you spend more money than you should, or you think you're going to be, going to lots of parties and you buy lots of party clothes, lots of trendy things that you don't ever wear, or you think that you're going to cook and you buy all these things, all these appliances and doodads to make all these things that your family, won't ever eat. Maybe they're not into crepes or whatever, and you buy crepe makers and they go, we just want pancakes, Mom. So you're buying all these things, and I know that you can tell me some are on the tip of your tongue right now, things that you've purchased. And then the other part of you is the part that overcommits. So that's when you go to church and someone says, oh, we really need a nursery school teacher for our little preschool group, and it would only be Sundays at 1 o'clock and blah, blah, blah. And you think, oh, I've always wanted to do that. I'd be a perfect preschool teacher for these children. Let me sign up. And then at the next preschool meeting, you're talking to, and it's fun, right? And you're enjoying it, but it's a little much because you're taken from your family. But when you get to church, your whole imaginary self comes and takes over. And so you're talking to one of the girls who's doing this with you, and she's in a woman's group, and you think, oh, I want to be part of that woman's group. And so you commit to a woman's group. And not only do you commit, but you go into a committee in the woman's group. And then you also say, oh, your husband has gotten overcommitted and he needs help with the second graders. And so you're going to commit to helping him with that. And then you're going to work on the missionary group. And before you know it, you've got so many things going on that there's no life for you and your family. Remember, your priority is God first. That's true. But your priority in living every day, besides God, that means your prayer life and your commitment to Him, is that you take care of your family, the family that God gave you, and that you take care of the home where your family lives, the home that God gave you. So you take care of yourself, the self that God gave you and is so precious to Him. There's no one else here who's going to take care of you but you. Yeah, you might have a great husband and he might be good when you're sick and he knows how to cook in a pinch, or maybe he knows how to cook and clean, and that's great. But still, he's not going to tell you to floss your teeth. He's not going to tell you it's time for a mammogram. He's not going to tell you you're not getting enough sleep. So the real you is the one who faces reality at the end of the day and says, oh my gosh, I'm overcommitted. Oh my gosh, I bought too many things. Or when you're decluttering, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff I never used from 3 years ago. I had this great idea that I was going to do this wonderful library of XYZ, and I didn't do it. Because we have these grand illusions, and that's our day self. But that night self is our reality self. In this example, now you might be the opposite. Maybe your night self has grand illusions and your day self says, whatever it is, that just happens to be Liz and the way she's doing it. And I've talked to others of you that I mentor, like Rachel, who talked about her real self and her imaginary self. And I've talked to you guys about it from my point of view as well. Just remember that the real self is the one you're trying to identify. The night self is the one you're trying to identify. The one who has a head on her shoulders. The one who's budgeting not just her money, but her time. The one who is making time to do things for her family. And you may not have a family. It may just be you, but still you may be overcommitted and you're not doing enough stuff for yourself. Okay, so I want you to think about that today. Think about your imaginary self and your real self, your day self and your night self. Have you overcommitted? During this pandemic period where we are kind of forced at home, although we're still extended, we're still doing our Zoom meetings with our ministries. And, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, are you doing more than you should be doing? So why don't you prioritize during this quiet time and figure out what it is that you really want to do? There are so many of you that I've talked to who are on the committee for the community, or you're in the HOA, or you're on the board, the local government, and you're also on several church things, and you're involved in several school things, and you're just overwhelmed. No wonder you can't keep your home clean. No wonder you can't think to make a meal for your family. Step back and rethink your life. What you're aiming for is calm, which is peace. You're aiming for control, which means that you're not spinning too many plates. You're in control. You can handle what you've got. And loving yourself. These are the things we're aiming for that make us a better person, a kinder person, a more in control person, a person who can be firm but kind, who won't lose their temper because you've taken care of yourself and your environment isn't crazy. Okay? That's it for today. Have a wonderful day, and always remember that you are beautiful. So be beautiful.